All right, so I'm not trying to be difficult. I'm not trying to be irresponsible. That's not the word. I'm not trying to be difficult. I'm not trying to be a problem with everybody. I read an article from Jason Lloyd, and the whole thing, Lloyd, Browns' bungling loss to Bengals wasn't half bad if you have the right perspective. Okay? Then I heard John Fana yesterday on Afternoon Drive, and John, John makes the videos where he goes, I'm ticked. And we love John. He's probably up listening right now because John's nuts. And while I love John, John's like, there's plenty of good things to see. There's lots of great perspective, and the young guys played well. And we've always been couching this with, the young guys played well, and we still got to develop guys, and it's tough. And I'm going, okay, if everybody played well, we have the right perspective, then why am I hearing Daryl and Jake Volnick last night joking about getting blown out by 21? Like, hopefully we won't get blown out by 21. Well, okay, Cincinnati is not a middle school team. Cincinnati's a team that's paid their 2 wide receivers. I know they moved some money around some way somehow because the Browns were broke as an NFL team. They moved some money around. They got Trey Hendrickson paid for the year at least. And you have this team that I really think, in so many ways, shouldn't they have his Super Bowl aspirations, the Cincinnati Bengals? Should they or should they not have at least the playoffs as a standard for that football team? Like, nobody here is really talking playoffs, and rightfully so. But I'm going, okay, if you can beat that team that's supposed to be a playoff team, then can I hold us to any sort of a standard? Like, I wouldn't pick us to win against the Baltimore Ravens. I'm not going to do that, but it's just like we're going to go in. It's like, all right, we're going to play the Ravens. Things aren't going to go well. It's like, well, if we are building up all this goodwill with these young guys, are we then setting ourselves up for a massive letdown and then a massive overreaction on Monday? Because if everything just went hunky-dory and we ended up losing by a kicker, if you go out there and you get boat raced on Sunday, I imagine now you're going to start off 2-0, and the reaction is going to be an overreaction on Monday morning. Does that make a point to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like it does. It sounds like I lost you there halfway through.
No, I mean, well,
at least it looks like it. They can see on YouTube Live now.
I think that
you were thinking of other things.
I haven't come across anybody that thinks we're going to win this week. Like, even the biggest of homers don't think we're going to win this week. But if that defense really causes problems, because the Bills caused no problems for outside of the Derrick Henry fumble. And yeah, there were some conservative second half possessions by Baltimore, but had they have just been the same Baltimore all game long, Buffalo could not stop them.
Yeah.
And Buffalo's considered a Super Bowl contender. So if the Browns slow that offense down and they get a handle on that RPO game that they had going on, where I mean, they made it look easy against the Bills. Lamar Jackson was just like, all right, I think I'll give it to him on this one. 30 yards. I think I'm going to keep it 20 yards. And they're averaging 10 yards a carry, I think, in that game. If all of a sudden the Browns do to them what they did, anything remotely close to what they did to Cincinnati last week, win or lose, there are going to be some moral victories. But you're still going to be 0-2, and it's not going to be looking pretty, as the Green Bay Packers are going to be waiting for you. And they're coming here, but they've got the extra rest and all that. How physical is your game against Baltimore? Like, you can possess two different thoughts at the same time. Like, all right, this season's still going to be bad. Well, but man, they are competent. They are better than we thought. They're not one of the bottom 3 teams in the league, which everybody thought going into the season.
So, but it's still early. It's still week 1. And I think this week is when you start to figure out some of who these teams really are. I mean, you've seen teams win week 1 and then not really win for the rest of the season before. I mean, you've seen teams go out and have big surprises.
We've only been 0-2. The last time we were 0-2 was, I think, 2017. Think about that. The Browns are bad almost every year. And save 2 years, and we don't go 0-2. Last year, we were abysmal. We didn't go 0-2. We won one of those games.
Well, if I come in here on Monday and they lose the game 24-14, and I'm not screaming and yelling and calling for fire-ins, I don't want to hear it on the back end, because everybody was wonderful. Like, I find it very hard to believe, and I know the Browns find ways to lose games. I find it very hard to believe that we're just going to lose because of an Andre Szmyt missed field goal again. against Baltimore on the road with that stadium, with what's about to go on in that stadium, which we'll talk about coming up at 6:43 this morning. Like, I find it really hard to believe that's going to happen. Like, if you're playing young guys, eventually young guys are going to make mistakes. And so Carson Schlesinger, who looks like he knows what everybody's doing at all times, there's going to be one or two times he might get caught.
Yeah, there's tape on him
not knowing
now,
what's going on.
And you're going up against a very different type of attack.
So we know
this
tendencies. Well, Greg Newsome played a great game on Sunday.
did.
How much do we trust Greg Newsome to continue that for the rest of the season? The records show, not really. I hope it goes his way, but records show not really. So if we're going to all have proper perspective and say, hey, you know what, it was a good outing. Okay, then I'm going to move some things and talk moral victories. Then, if Sunday was a moral victory, and we're doing our moral victory schedule, and we're 1-0 in moral victories, then don't be surprised if I don't come in here and start screaming and yelling about Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski and lack of leadership and all those other things. If they go out there and they just lose by 10. Now, if they go out there and get hammered by 40, maybe I'm going to feel differently. But if they lose a natural NFL football game where it's like, hey, we had the ball, we turned it over. We turned it over on downs. They kicked the field goal, a 7-point deficit ended up being a 10-point deficit. 30-20, we lose. All right, that's a football game.
Well, don't we have
You're not as good as the Ravens
in some capacity, don't we have to revert back to what we did say, what almost everybody said about the team at the start of the year, which was the schedule is brutal to start out. So you add it up. We were 5.5-point dogs week 1.
Yeah.
We're anywhere from 11.5 to 12.5 week 2. I think we could be double-digit underdogs the following week. If you add up those points, it's got to be the most in the NFL. So you are expected to be 0-3 to start out the season. So you do have to deal with that in terms of how it actually looks. Like, were you plucky in all 3 games? Did you pull one of the games out? Holy cow. Did you pull 2 of the games out? Like, 2 of them were at home.
Yeah.
You lost the first one. All right. Well, we won a game in Baltimore with Deshaun Watson. And it was a come-from-behind win in Baltimore. And that was a really good Baltimore team. So, like, it can happen. I just think there does have to be some semblance of how is this compared to your expectations. I think you can also do big picture stuff and say, all right, it's year 6 and all of that. But in the moment, like, they're supposed to lose these games. They're supposed to lose in a big way this week. Let's see if their defense is as advertised. Because we've held Joe Burrow and we've held the Bengals before. We match up against them well. What do we do here against Baltimore? A team we split. We have been able to pull the splits against.
And what in this, because this is really unknown here. Legendary coaches get chances to go through rebuilds. Kevin is, I think, a good coach. He ain't no legend. And it's weird where you're kind of going through this roster transition. You really haven't accomplished much. So now I think a Browns fan finds themselves at an emotional crossroads of how to react towards having wins snatched away from you, losing football games, compared to having young guys on the football team and comparing it to the people being in charge going into year 6 or right now in year 6. So if it were rookie head coach Kevin Stefanski and it was rookie general manager Andrew Berry, and I'd go, hey, Schlesinger had a great game, this, that, and the other, you ain't gonna be that mad. But it's 6 years for both. And I got guys who are paid on this football team a lot of money. I mean, there's only $18 million in cap space after they reworked Denzel Ward's contract. You would think that a team with $18 million in cap space should be a team that's trying to compete and go to the playoffs. So you have to meld all that together and go, how do I react? How do I react and be fair to my own emotions as a fan? Or I think we could find ourselves at the end of the month going, you know what? To hell with it. To hell with them all. Can't stand this. Like, it's closer to going that way than it is to going into a reasonable, hey, things are getting better. No, it worked last week, but I can't see it losing just because of missed field goals every single week. And if you do, boy, you've really hit the needle on a thread right there. Because I think we're setting ourselves up. If they go out there and they get rolled in Baltimore, especially because they're going to show all the pregame stuff, they're going to roll out who. They're going to roll out family members of who, I should say. If they roll out who, that'd certainly be something. We're talking Lennon there. But if they're going to roll out family members of who, and I think people are going to see that. And if they go down and they get beat like dogs, Monday morning's going to be a rough one. even if Carson Schlesinger plays well, even if Dylan Sampson looks like a fire plug and Harold Fannin and so on and so forth, like, I just think that some of this perspective, I just don't want to make sure. I want to make sure we ain't lying to ourselves, Tone. I want to make sure we ain't lying to ourselves emotionally.
Yeah, we're in a good spot where a lot of people in a rare time in Cleveland, especially with football, could feel decent about a loss. That won't be the case a week from now if exactly what you're talking about goes down.
Well.
Yeah, that was at 6:03 and then it went on.
Just hit the kick for crying out loud.
That's great, Kenny.
What are you talking about?
I think he tried to hit the kick.
Then if you don't hit the kick, then find somebody else who did. You got what you wanted out of me. You want to be mad, and now I'm mad at 6:12. And I'm not even mad at him. I know he didn't try to miss it on purpose. I know he tried to make the kicks, but you didn't make the kicks. I'm sorry, son. You got to go. You got to go. I can't do this. I'll keep trying kickers until we find a kicker who's able to do it.
Would you be...
Lord almighty, you're trying to find every single excuse for some guy whose name you can't even spell.
No, I don't even care about kickers in general.
Get your head out of your ass. It's a kicker, just find a different one.
Is this some fake Ken?
God. I forgot I said all that. The not being able to spell his last name, I forgot.
Well, they didn't do what you wanted, Ken. They didn't get rid of him.
I guess you would say I sounded pretty moody. Maybe they can go sign Jake Moody.
Anybody?
CSI Miami.
He's available, right?
Lima. Do you want to tell everybody the thought you had with me yesterday?
Okay, so
this is worth your time. This is good.
So obviously, we're all wondering what the solution was going to be because there are no good options. Can we all admit that? Like, okay, maybe you think just getting rid of the guy that nobody even knew who he was 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago until he hit that game winner in the preseason game, and last we've found our kicker. So that guy won the kicking competition. The in secret behind closed doors kicking competition that nobody got to see. Even Josh Cribbs was like, yeah, back in my day, we actually used to put people around the kicker at least.
The Wonka factory.
I know. It's great. It was great. So, we're sitting here wondering what's the best of all the bad options? Is it just getting rid of him and bringing in another bad option from another team or Jake Moody, who had a terrible season a year ago, really cost them. And they missed the playoffs because of it. They had injuries too, but he was a big reason why. He was terrible, his numbers. Then he comes out and misses kicks. So you're scouring the waiver wire or guys that were the UFL. That's where this dude came from. So there are no great options. What do you do? And I thought to myself, man, this week, of all the kickers in the NFL, this dude will have the most pressure on him. Not only is he going to be on the road in Baltimore trying to spoil the Baltimore Ravens extravaganza and rub it in the face of the Browns, ceremony, but you're also dealing with a team that's 0-1. He's a big reason, if he's not the only reason, maybe some people think he's the only reason, that they lost that game in the opener. He's got to weigh all of that, and his career is on the line. Because if he is indeed the kicker, which we still don't know for sure, but if he is indeed the kicker on Sunday, and he misses an extra point,
don't know for sure.
Browns, who knows what they're doing behind the scenes? I don't know.
Care to explain? Do you know something?
No, I don't know anything. But
if he's still the kicker, this is a massive amount of pressure.
This is This is his career as a kicker. He's going to have to find something else to do to make money if this doesn't work out. So if we were looking to simulate the experience of a lot of pressure on kicks, can he make them?
College?
We don't need to simulate it anymore. It's here. It's this week. Now he could take down the whole team and they could be 0-2 because of him. But if he makes them and this guy delivers, then can we say we might have our kicker? Because how can you simulate this kind of pressure that he has on Sunday?
He was an NCAA student athlete. Maybe he should have been going pro in something other than football. Okay.
Was he at Newhouse at Syracuse?
You
are a broadcaster.
You are correct. But I'd rather them not do the testing in a game that counts. Again, I'd rather just try to simulate the pressure and figure it out from there. while you are totally correct, this is the most amount of pressure that you could put on somebody because now it's like it's out there. Like, hey, you don't make this, that's it. Well, at least it should be. Who knows? It's still, I'd rather just try to simulate the pressure through other means and have a competition or anything else that they would have done other than having it in a game that matters. This game matters. If you miss this, if he misses kicks on Sunday against this team and that it actually hurts and you're not just like, down by 20 or whatever it is, like, come on, I can't. There's no defense anymore.
Well, can I ask you?
There's no defense.
Can I play devil's advocate, though?
Yeah, go right on ahead. I don't care.
How many wins did Vegas say you're going to have this year? The over/under.
Is that any excuse to not have a guy? Who can make kicks?
I'm getting to the point, though. So they had you as, I think, bottom of the league or second worst.
4.5 or 5.
4.5. So nobody thinks you're going to win. Nobody thinks you're going to win. What's important? Why were we excited about the rookies on Sunday? Not because they're going to take us to the playoffs this year. It's a big picture thing, right? Like, we're thinking, hey, next year, probably going to address the quarterback, probably going to address offensive line, maybe left tackle or right tackle. Okay, so we're all in a transition phase anyway. So, yeah, the kicker cost us royally in week 1. But if we're looking big picture, isn't the goal to see who is finding out guys that are going to be on this team in the future? And if this guy overcomes that disastrous debut and ends up being the kicker of the future, isn't this a route you could take to doing that? And then the fact that you're losing games in the meantime, no big deal. It's all a build. It's all a build for something else. Like, we're not excited about Dylan Sampson because of a playoff run this year, are we?
Because
we're excited about Dylan Sampson because what could he be? Could he be the third down back and Quinshon Judkins next year and the year after when they're building for a playoff run?
It kills any trust that you have. Are you talking about if he misses kicks, you just leave him in there?
I'm saying that he got 2 games. 2 games, deal with the pressure of 2 games, and if he ends up overcoming the disaster in week 1, this is how you build metal. This is how you build trust within a team. Can you imagine what the guys are going to be saying about this kid if he goes out and hits a 50-yard game winner against Baltimore on the road, spoils their celebration, spoils their homecoming? Isn't that the route?
I think for everybody else.
It's not a preseason game. Preseason game doesn't do that. A quarterback kicking competition in the preseason
doesn't do that either.
That doesn't do anything for Myles Garrett.
But if you don't.
But doing it in Baltimore?
But that's where you upset Myles Garrett. Because Myles Garrett is like, man, I feel like I've been through a car crash on Sunday, and we didn't win, and you're not replacing a guy who I bet Myles Garrett probably feels kickers are pretty replaceable.
Sure.
I bet the rest of the guys who are out there feeling like they're in car crashes feel like the kickers are pretty replaceable.
But he also probably knows it's hard to find one.
I'm sure he does, considering that the team has had many since he started with the Browns, so it's not easy to do. I think that you would look at it and go, well, if we've had that many, then we can go find another. Same thing I said on Monday. And I also believe that if you don't go and make that replacement, then you're going, what are you guys really trying to do? Are you guys really trying to win? Does nothing matter here? Does nothing actually matter? Does wins not matter? In pro sports where the object is supposed to be winning, where I'm supposed to put my emotions and money behind you to win, you're telling me winning doesn't matter.
Okay, but counterpoint, do you think Myles signed on the dotted line because he thought they were going to win games this year?
No.
I do not think that.
No, I don't.
I don't think winning this year was the priority for Myles Garrett.
No, that's why I no longer think they're wasting his prime because, he had every chance to really force his way out and didn't do so. So there's no way I didn't really try to claim that before, but I'm not going to be claiming that now. But I also believe that you want to try to put you want to still do, I don't know if he thought that they were going to win, but while you have the team, I think you want to do everything you can to win. I think he knows there's limitations being that the quarterback takes up $50 million or whatever the hell it is, and we're in cap hell in so many ways because of that quarterback, because we can't get anything out of him, and the fans don't even want to watch the guy. I think he understands all that, and I think he understands that there's probably a quarterback in college that they're going to go after, but you still, you want to make it worth your blood, sweat, and arguments to go out there and win. 216-474-0092. So if you were to leave him in, go ahead.
One final note. Yeah. Master's degree at Syracuse in instructional design, development, and evaluation. With a big emphasis
He's
on
an interior decorator.
With a big emphasis on collaborative problem solving.
I have a problem. There's only one man who can solve it. Do we really need to be collaborative about this?